So yeah, like I said, you just went through the self-publishing process for the first time. Was that with the Liberty?
Well, I'd self-published Hold the Dog book, so that
Okay.
was the first time really. This is the first time I've done it as a piece of fiction, as a novel.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Do you want to tell us a bit about that process? Did you find it easy, accessible, difficult?
Um, I think I describe it in two parts. The publishing process itself, I think that I found that, I wouldn't say necessarily easy, but it's a series of steps to take, and I was kind of comfortable with each step. But then there's the marketing aspect, I think, on top of that to kind of get your book noticed, and that's what I find much more difficult.
Hmm. Yeah, in the interview I did last week with Michelle, we were talking about marketing and how it's such an unavoidable part of the self-publishing process and something that a lot of writers probably aren't naturally comfortable with. Um,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that's probably what separates the really successful self-published writers from most other self-published writers is probably how comfortable they are with the marketing and how
mhm.
good they are with the marketing.
I mean, it's a shame because, yeah, it doesn't matter if you've written the best book in the world. If you're not marketing it, no one's going to see it. So it's like a necessary thing that you just got to work out as an indie author. Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, you could put the best book in the world out there, and there's just no way that somebody's going to notice it by chance using
Hmm.
that marketing.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a learning curve, right? We can all learn how to market a book, definitely.
Yeah, I think so, and it's the same with the self-publishing too. I mean, just to self-publish, you've got to come up with a cover and the format of the book, etc., and all those things. Anytime you do something for the first time, you're going to make mistakes. I think.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, what do you enjoy most about being an indie author?
I think the kind of control, I suppose, and the decision making. So being able to to design the cover and decide, yeah, make all the decisions yourself is nice. And then you're in control of the timings. Like I believe in traditional publishing, you might have to wait 2 years, even if your book got accepted and bought before it came out. Whereas self-publishing, you can just put it out there straight away if you want.
Yeah, I never thought about that aspect of it actually, like the immediacy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and obviously you can then go online and check your sales figures or whatever and things like that. So there's
yeah.
a more direct link, I think, to the buying process and the audience.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you see, so many indie authors very actively interacting with their readers, online and social media through, live videos and stuff. Yeah, there's no barrier really between the readership and the indie author.
No, that's right, and I guess that's happening with other art forms as well, like music, etc. It's
Mm.
probably the more of the future.
Yeah, yeah, it's exciting, definitely.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, what would you say is the biggest challenge of being an indie author?
Uh, Probably, like I said, the marketing aspect. So doing what's necessary to get your book noticed by people, um, and I guess having to do all the different jobs involved in publishing. So a traditional publisher would obviously have different people involved who are more specialists at the different stages, um, cover design, marketing, etc. Whereas as an indie author, you can, I guess, outsource that and subcontract it or whatever. But I did everything. Well, I'm doing everything myself, and that's probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah. So interesting when you think of self-publishing a book, you think, oh, it's all going to be about the writing. I've got to write a book. That's such a big project. And that's just such a tiny, not a tiny, but it's just one part of the process. There's so much more after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Particularly after you've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of writing, does it, did the Liberty Arms kind of flow out of you, or was it more of a plotting, planning process to get it all written down?
No, it kind of flowed out of me. I mean, that probably implies that it flowed quickly, but it didn't necessarily flow quickly. But but um, but I tend to just write and see where it goes. And then I think with the Liberty Arms, I got to a point maybe 2/3 through, and I thought, okay, I need to work out how this is going to end and how I can get to that end point. And then I got to kind of put some more planning into it, and I got a spreadsheet out and worked out the different character kind of arcs and things. So I kind of did it on the hoof, you might say. There's a bit of a mixture of both, but I've tried before to kind of plan or plot a story out in advance, and then it kind of takes the motivation and enthusiasm away somehow for me. I lose if it's too planned, I lose the interest in writing it.
No, that makes sense, to kind of roll with the inspiration first and the motivation to just get the story on the page, and then, maybe after a while, double check that the story arcs and the plotting and the plot points and stuff are all there and working well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that seems to work for me, or that's the most natural way for me. I guess other people might probably have different ways, but it's a personal thing, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any strategies for writer's block, or do you get writer's block, or?
Yeah, I certainly have times and periods where I find it a struggle. I don't really have a strategy, except that I try to force myself to write. So I think the longer that I go without writing, the harder it is then to pick it up again. So I try to write, even if it's just 50 words, 100 words or something, and then that makes me feel a bit better, and then maybe the next day I'll write a bit more, etc.
Write yourself out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier said than done. I probably don't follow that my own advice very well. I'm trying at the moment to write. I tend to, I think, quite enjoy writing first thing in the morning, because I don't have the time to kind of think about it or find reasons to stop myself or doubt myself or whatever. So I'm trying to do that at the moment, just to get up. And then even if I only write 50 or 100 words, the rest of the day I think, well, I did something today, so that helps.
Yeah, great. I think that's really useful to just know yourself and take notice of when you work best, when you write best. What things you need to do to get it flowing again. Yeah,
and you work that out over time, I think.
Yeah, it's all experience, right? Yeah.